I can proudly say that I have seen Manichithrathazhu for at least 300 times or more than 300 times because it's always on TV and I always keep watching that movie on and on. This is not only my case, it's applicable to most of the Malayalis. In fact, Manichithrathazhu is likely to hold a Guinness Book record for the most screened movie on TV. But even after you watch the movie for the 500th time, I guarantee you that you can watch the movie again and again. Actually, we Malayalis never get enough of Manichithrathazhu, and I think that's the reason why it's always on TV. Welcome to Retro Junction. I'm Lakshmi. Manichithrathazhu was released in 1993 and was directed by Fazil. The story was written by Madhu Muttam. The cast includes Mohanlal, Suresh Gopi, Shobhana, Nedumudi Venu, Udiravattam Pappu, Tilagan, Innocent, KPS Lalada, Sridhar and all others. Manichithrathazhu has won National Award for the Best Popular Film of that time. And Shobhana was awarded the National Award for the Best Actress for her timeless performance in the movie. The story begins when newlywed Nagulan and his wife Ganga visit Nagulan's ancestral home Chembangodu. They decide to live in Nagulan's mother's ancestral home Madambally, but their relatives warn them not to because Madambally is supposed to be haunted. Nagulan leaves the warnings unnoticed and the couple began to live in Madambally. Series of strange things happens in Madambally. The relatives blame it all on the ghost there, but Nagulan suspects Sridevi, his first cousin, behind all this. Nagulan calls his friend, the world famous psychiatrist Dr. Sunny Joseph, to treat Sridevi. With Sunny's arrival, the movie takes new twists and turns. You can find out what are the twists and turns happened in YouTube. Manichithrathazhu talks about two social problems. One, the approach of the public towards the mentally ill. Approaching anything abnormal or unnatural with fear is a human nature. When a fellow human being behaves abnormally, others get panicked and confused. In older times, the people seek the help of the exorcist, and these exorcists can treat endless situations like depression, epilepsy, frequent abortions, you name it and you can have one after that. But when time changed, science had almost all answers for every abnormality our ancestors feared. But even then, when it comes to psychological problems, a small percentage still believes in black magic and goes for exorcisms. Here, Nagulan suspects Sridevi as mentally unstable, and the first thing Nagulan do is to call his Dr. Sunny Joseph, who is a leading psychiatrist. Maybe Nagulan's assumptions were wrong, but what he did was the right thing to do. Seek medical advice. Kerala remains the most literate state in India, but even now in some remote areas, people still consider mentally unstable as possessed. I remember reading a news report about 5 or 6 years ago saying that a woman was killed during an exorcism. The victim was starved for 2 weeks, beaten up, and she had burns in her body. The postmortem report showed that the woman had suffered internal bleeding and a broken backbone as a result of her long ordeal with the exorcist. Police said that the woman was mentally ill and all she needed was a good medical attention. But the parents believed that the girl was possessed by some evil spirit and they seek the help of an exorcist. Now you may have an argument about the last scene, the climax scene where Ganga faces the exorcist. But one thing to be noted is the entire arrangement of that exorcism was under the control and supervision of Dr. Sunny, a qualified psychiatrist. And Ganga is not seen starved or beaten up or facing any kind of torture as I mentioned in the case earlier. The absence of science and logic is what we need to be afraid of. Another important issue Manichithrathazhu discusses is about the children who are left alone. Ganga, as a child, was left alone by her parents as they were both working in Kolkata. She was left with her grandmother. That grandmother had a huge impact on her. She might be an old lady who was already preoccupied by ghost stories, folklores and fantasies. Chances are she might have passed it on to Ganga from an early age. Ganga believed her grandmother and she took refuge in the colorful world of fantasies her grandmother told to overcome the solitude. This led to her multiple personality disorder. When both parents work, it's normal to entrust their children to someone whom they trust. But one thing should be in mind of the parents when they let their guard down. Children are very good imitators and amazing at grasping things in the early age. So the people with whom the children spend most of their time will have a huge impact on them. So try to choose the caregivers wisely. The cast of the movie plays an important role in sending the film's message to the millions. We have Mollywood's A-listers like Mohanlal, Suresh Gopi, Shobhana as the lead cast. When big stars say something, we get bigger audience. And here, that was used for a good cause, to make people think rationally, to educate people on the importance of mental health. Manichithrathazhu conveys a clear message. When it comes to dealing with the psychological problems, always consult a medical professional. Don't believe everything you hear. Always keep an attitude of assessing everything with a pinch of salt. This is the message of Manichithrathazhu, and that's why Manichithrathazhu is considered as one of the greatest movie of Malayalam cinema.